Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here. Today I'm going to do another top 5 guns video. This one is just going to be my top 5 favorite semi-automatic centerfire pistols. I have my own top 5 lists of my favorite guns in different categories, like, top 5 favorite shotguns, top 5 favorite .22 rifles, top 5 favorite revolvers, things like that. This one is just going to be my top 5 favorite semi-automatic centerfire pistols, and it is all encompassing. So it's not like my top 5 favorite full size or compact or subcompact, single stack, double stack. It's just all encompassing. So if you're wondering why there's 4 full size and 1 subcompact or compact, whatever you want to call it, it's just because it's just centerfire pistols in general. So let's get started. There's really no particular order except for number 1, and I guess I'll save that one for last. So we'll start off with the 1911. And I mean, really, how do you have a top 5 centerfire pistols discussion without talking about the 1911? I mean, it's been around for a long time. John Browning design, served in 2 world wars, the 2-time champion of the world wars. There's not too many guns out there that I think served in both, especially when talking about pistols. So this is the 2-time champion of World War I and World War II. 45 ACP, single stack. And my particular one is a Ruger Commander-sized 1911. Very nice 1911. It's the only one I currently own, but it was definitely a really nice one for the first-time buyer. So, the 1911, specifically 45, a 10 millimeter would also be really good. I really would like a 10 millimeter 1911. Maybe someday. A Colt Delta Elite or something. Let's go over here to the Smith & Wesson 59 series. Now, specifically, the one I have here is a 5906. And this is probably my favorite out of the 59, at least the 3rd generation 59 series handguns. So you have the 59, and then you have like the 2nd generation, which is the 4, 5, and 6 59, and then you have the 3rd generation, which is the 5906, all identified by their model numbers. So 2 digits is 1st gen, 3 is 2nd gen, and 4 digits is 3rd gen. So but the Smith & Wesson 5906 specifically was a very well-known cop gun. A lot of police agencies used the 5906 back in the 90s, and I guess even in like the 80s they used the 2nd gens and even the 1st gens, but the 59 series in general was just used extensively until like Glocks and Smith & Wesson MPs came around. So the Smith & Wesson 5906 stainless steel, and I have some Hogue Palfero grips on them, which definitely make the gun pop. Definitely makes it look a lot better than those crappy scratched up plastic grips that came on it. And then of course it is a double action, single action with a safety decocker, which is definitely a style of pistol that I really like. I really like double action, single action, hammer, external hammer with a decocker or decocker safety. That's just my preferred mechanism when it comes to a handgun, when it comes to a defensive handgun or like a woods gun or something like that. So let's go down to the Walther PPK. This is the only subcompact or compact, single stack, whatever you want to call it, but it is a 380. And again, it's the only 380 on the list, the only 380 that I own. And for some reason, my camera just does not like to focus on this particular gun. But Very well known, cool pistol. The James Bond gun, the gun Hitler carried and committed suicide with, and just used in a lot of movies and TV shows over the years. Just a really small 6-round single stack magazine, double action, single action. The only downside about this particular gun is there is no external slide release. So if you want to drop the slide, you gotta drop the magazine first. But again, double action, single action with a decocker. And I believe the Walther PP, which was the big brother to the PPK, was the first handgun that incorporated a decocker safety mechanism for a double action, single action pistol. So without this gun, or at least its big brother, you wouldn't get the Smith & Wesson 59 series or the Ruger P series, which we'll get to in a minute. So first three, definitely really great guns. Next, we're going to talk about the Browning High Power. Now, this is not a Browning High Power. This is a Korean High Power, which is an Israeli version of the Browning High Power, or the FN High Power. But it is basically the same gun. So, another John Browning design, sort of. It's his last design, if you want to say that. I mean, he died several years before this gun actually came out, but there are a lot of design features used in the 1911 brought over to this once the patents expired. And just like the 1911, it is a single action only pistol. The only difference is this is a 9mm versus a 45, and it takes 13 round double stack magazines versus 7 or 8 round single stack magazines, which makes this a better gun in terms of warfare because you have more rounds. They're arguably less powerful rounds, but you get like twice as many. So that was a big deal in terms of warfare. And this is also a gun that a lot of militaries and police agencies have used throughout the world. Maybe between this and like the CZ75, I mean, those two guns were used pretty extensively throughout the world in police agencies and militaries and things like that, up until just recently. But there's still a lot of militaries out there that use guns like these. So that's number 4. Well, I guess you could say number 2, depending on if you're counting up or counting down. But my number 1 favorite pistol of all time has to be the Ruger P series. More specifically, the Ruger P89, which this is. Now, I have several P89s. I have several P series pistols in general. I have a total of 9, actually. So if that tells you anything, this is the only gun on this layout here that I have more than 2 of, and I have 9 of them. They're not all 9mm. My favorites are the 9mm. I have 6 P-Series chambered in 9mm, but it's basically, this one's loaded, not in the chamber, but it is loaded in the magazine. It's basically the same style of gun as the Smith & Wesson 59 series, only all of these, if they have a metal frame, they have an aluminum frame, or some of them have a polymer frame or a glass-filled nylon. But it is they are still full-size pistols, double action, single action with a decocker. Some of them, like this one, have a safety decocker. Some have a decocker only. Some are double action only, which I don't particularly care for. And then they come in different barrel lengths. They're all pretty much the same here. And your hammer and trigger and safety mechanism, as long as it's a double action, single action, are pretty much the same. A lot of parts are the same overall. But what makes these guns stand out, in my opinion, is the fact that they are very reliable, robust guns for not such a high price. I have again, 9 of these pistols, and I don't think I've paid more than about $400 for one. In fact, several of them I've paid less than $300 for. So if I can get that many pistols for that low of money, that's a good deal. Just a really good budget option, and they're pretty reliable. I really haven't had any problems with any of them. Might have had the occasional hiccup here or there, which is usually related to ammo, because I have bought some cheap ammo over the years, and occasionally you might have a hiccup here or there. But if you have good quality ammo, you won't have any problems. In fact, I've never had a problem with this gun, never had a problem with the majority of my P series in general. So I just really, really like these guns. They feel good in the hand to me. This particular one has a 4.5-inch slide, and that gives you a really nice sighting radius. And they're very heavy, which a lot of people don't like, but I like heft in a gun, which is why all of these guns are either steel frame or aluminum frame pistols. I like heft in a gun because it takes away from the recoil. If you have too much recoil in a gun, like say, like a Ruger LCP, very small, compact, lightweight gun, you got this really small gun, there's not a whole lot of it to hold on to. The best thing to compare it with would be this PPK. The PPK is actually bigger, the LCP is smaller, the LCP is like half the weight, or maybe even less than that, I don't know. But that LCP is going to be a lot jumpier than this gun, and with all that recoil, it's just not that fun to shoot. So that's why I typically stick with metal framed full-size pistols, and even when I have smaller pistols like this one, the PPK, or my car, I tend to stick with steel frame or aluminum frame pistols. So anyway, those are my top 5 favorite centerfire pistols of all time. Let me know what you think, and let me know what your top 5 are if you have differing opinions, which I'm sure you do, because I have a couple of controversial options. And of course, this is just a top 5. If this was a top 10, I'd probably have like the Beretta 92 or the SIG P226 or all those other guns, the CZ75, that would probably be on there as well. I like pistols, I like guns of all types, and this is just my first top 5 favorites in one single category video. So, subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I am Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.